Welcome to STARS Launch Pod, where we chat with innovators who are overcoming challenges, pushing boundaries, and collaborating to make space more accessible and sustainable for humanity, one launch at a time.
It's one small step for man.
Here's your host, Susan Wise.
Hi, and welcome to STARS LaunchPod, Space, Technology, and Research Sciences, brought to you by starsciences.org, where we connect, collaborate, and accelerate. I'm your host, Susan Wise. It's an honor to have with us Peter Ulrich, a senior studying aerospace engineering at the prestigious Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach. Now, you've done multiple different engagements with the NASA La Space program, as well as research with XD Labs and development on CubeSats. That you've got a lot going on, Peter.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad to be here, Susan.
We're excited to have you. Tell me a little bit more about, what's going on with you right now.
Okay, well, I'm currently in a few different projects.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I'm part of the L Space organization. I'm serving as an ambassador to NASA right now, to the Lucy mission. And basically what my job is, I have to go to different schools and youth groups in the area and just talk to them about the Lucy mission and what NASA is doing with that. So that's one of the things I'm working on. Additionally, I'm working with my university on building a satellite that can study tardigrades and the effect solar radiation has on them.
What is a tardigrade?
Sorry. A tardigrade is a little microorganism. It's microscopic, and they're sometimes called water bears, but what's really important about them is that they are an extremophile, which means they can live in very harsh conditions. So when they're encountered with extreme heat or extreme cold or very little food and water or even very little air, they can just curl up into a ball and just kind of hibernate.
Oh, cool.
And in that hibernation, they can endure pretty much anything, which is why they've been chosen to be studied in space so much, because they're cheap to send up, since they're a microscopic organism, and they can endure the hardships that space puts on a organism.
How will we use that in the future? Does that help us with other space missions, or is that something that's going to help us right here on Earth?
Oh, that's going to help us a lot with space missions.
Okay.
So the research we're trying to do specifically is seeing if solar radiation has an effect on tardigrade reproduction and how the population builds.
Okay.
So because of that, this is a starting point to studying reproduction in space. If we want people and other organisms on Earth to go up into space and maintain a living community there, we have to learn how reproduction in space is going to work. And while this hasn't been studied in space yet, so this is a really good start with these tardigrades.
Yeah, we got to be able to grow families if we're going to be up there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If we're going to be establishing colonies on the moon, on Mars, it's super important that we understand the science behind it and make sure that it's possible and that everyone's healthy in these endeavors.
That's an exciting experiment. Talk to me a little bit about Lucy. What's going on with that?
All right. Well, Lucy is a satellite that launched a few years ago. It's studying the Trojan asteroids in our solar system, and they are right in Jupiter's orbit, for reference. And in studying these Trojan asteroids, we can learn a little more about our solar system and how it was founded. A lot of the different planets either have an atmosphere or have been bombarded by different asteroids and gases, but these Trojan asteroids have been relatively unaffected since the solar system formed a few billion years ago. So they serve as a great point to understand what materials built our solar system and if there is the building blocks for life on there, organic materials such as carbon and water.
Talk to me about one of your biggest aha moments on your journey.
Okay, so there's a few. I think the biggest aha moment I had was back in high school when I was first deciding to be an aerospace engineer, when I was first deciding to go to Embry-Riddle. They were having a contest online, this organization called True Engineers. It was an essay contest. You submit an essay, and the grand prize was attending the Artemis 1 launch. And I submitted for that contest, and I didn't win, but later they sent us a YouTube video, and in that YouTube video they told us, hey, so regardless of whether you were chosen or not, your essay is going to be going on a microchip that's going to be up in Artemis 1. So that was a huge moment for me when my essay had the chance to go around the moon, which is an absolutely insane experience for a young person like myself. Back then I was, 18? And this experience helped really define what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, because I was bouncing between mechanical engineering and aerospace. And back then, one of my big passions was also musical theater, so I wanted to go into acting. But this experience with Artemis 1 really cemented things for me.
It's really exciting, Peter. I like that. And now we're looking at Artemis 2 here any day now.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Mhm.
I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what we're going to learn from this, and I hope there's not such a big gap between Artemis 2 and 3 like there was for Artemis 1 and 2. But it's very exciting. I don't know anyone in the space industry who's not excited about it. So I can't
We have
wait
a
to see
lot
what
to
they
learn.
find.
Sure.
Yeah.
Talk to me about some of your biggest challenges you've had and how did you overcome that?
Okay. Well, I think the biggest challenge I have is there's just aerospace engineering is a very conceptual experience, especially if as a student when you're learning everything. It's a lot of math and physics, and you don't
Math makes my head
really
hurt.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to put the pieces together until
Right.
later.
Yeah.
So you have to do all this coursework, and it's very tedious.
Mhm.
And all this combined with, balancing normal life stuff, also with finding a job, and with even just like personal problems that come into your life.
Mhm.
I know for a little while I was struggling with my coursework because I was dealing with just a slew of major personal problems that I'm obviously not going to get into here. But it's really just keeping on top of your studies, maintaining the grind, maintaining the energy of studying this stuff. It helps joining these organizations like NASA Aerospace and like the satellite organization I'm a part of. Those help because you immediately get to see the effects of your education in action. But
Mhm.
if you don't have those, it's very difficult to keep going through aerospace engineering. I know a lot of friends that switched out and went to mechanical. So
Mhm.
it helps to have that experience.
And I'm sure you have a strong support group too. Support as far as, your family and friends and other
Yeah, of
people in the
course.
industry. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I've got family and friends and all that, and they understand because I'm regularly complaining to them about the coursework. So, yeah, no, my parents, my sister,
Mhm.
all my friends at school, they've been super helpful. And I can honestly say without them, I'm not sure where I would be. I wouldn't be here today.
So you're a senior. So what's next for you? What's happening next?
What's next for me? Well,
Mhm.
I can go down a few different paths right now. I'm applying to jobs. I'm also considering a master's degree. One of the reasons I want to do a master's degree is because astronauts, one of the main requirements is they have to have a master's degree. It's required, and they prefer to have a doctorate, but I'm not there yet. I want to focus on the master's first. So it's just a question of whether I want to do my master's now or later.
Well, you say you have to
And
have a master's to be an astronaut, so I'm guessing that is one of your long-term goals, yeah?
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I was saying, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Right.
It's going to happen eventually. What else? I'm serving as the Lucy ambassador until September,
Mhm.
and after that, I'm going to see what's open next for the L Space program. I might be pursuing an internship there. There's still a lot of different options open right now.
Talk to me a little bit more about the L space because I know this happens online, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And it's
So
like what, 15 weeks or something? Talk to me more about that.
okay, so the L Space program is funded by the Lucy mission
Okay.
through NASA, and basically it is teaching college students how to work professionally in a NASA environment, and it's done all online, which is super helpful, which means anybody can do it from anywhere in the United States.
Mhm.
And it teaches people how to plan for NASA missions. It teaches 3D design and CAD programs. It teaches people how to do technical reports, how to do presentations that would be similar to what you'd be doing at NASA. And that sort of experience is super helpful. It looks great on a resume. I have a friend that did the L Space program just a little earlier, and now she has a job at SpaceX. So
Oh.
it's a really great experience. There's multiple different options that L Space offers. And then once you've done the program 2 or 3 times, you can be considered for things like my ambassador spot or internships.
Internships,
And it's just and it's a really great way to get your foot in the door.
Mm-hmm.
They can see it on your resume and be like, wow, you worked at NASA.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you have to explain exactly what the program is, but it's a really great start.
And it's preparing our next generation of space explorers, really. It's kind of setting the groundwork and giving you kind of a launch to...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, it's such a huge help for students. I would go on the limb here and recommend any college student take this course, whether you're interested in being part of NASA or not, because it's a huge resume boost, and it helps prepare you for how professionals talk in the industry.
So, Peter, what piece of advice would you like to share with our listeners?
Well, I've given a few pieces of advice, like being part of the clubs and
Sure.
doing NASA space, but there's also make sure to keep yourself, I don't know, diversified. Like,
Right.
focusing on space is important. It's absolutely important. But to be a well-rounded person, it can't be your only focus. You know, that there is normal life to live, and if you focus on just aerospace engineering or just one subject for long enough, you're going to burn yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to pace yourself. It's important doing these programs and doing these clubs are important, but
And it makes you more well-rounded. You know, it can't hurt to, dabble in a lot of other areas. You never know what might really pique your interest, maybe something even more.
Yeah, it's so important to have different hobbies and maintain different things. I've heard of astronauts that are also Olympians, like Olympic gymnasts and volleyball players. And, obviously that's a little hard to attain, but there's easy things you can do, like sketching or journaling. That's always very easy. It's a very cheap hobby to have. And eventually these hobbies can also help you in your journey of learning aerospace engineering, and it can definitely contribute to your professional life as well.
I like that. Hey, Peter, before we wrap up, I always like to ask everyone if they have a passion project, either past or present, that you would like to mention here.
Sure. Yeah. So in addition to all my work I do with NASA and the Satellite Club, I also am a music producer. And
no kidding.
Yeah.
I love it.
I was in the DJing scene for years, and now I'm trying to produce my first track. It's just a thing that kind of levels up a DJ. It gives them sort of a niche, It gives a chance for people to see what your sound is like, what you like to play. And so that's something that I'm really working on. And I'm going to say it doesn't take up a lot of my time because I'm always working on Embry-Riddle and aerospace engineering, and that obviously takes a lot of time. And I'm mostly teaching myself how to music produce. But as soon as I release my first track, I think it's really going to take off. So that's a project,
exciting. Yeah.
That's a project I'm working on.
And you get to utilize the creative side of your brain. I mean, you're like on this analytical side all the time and an overload, and now you get to balance that out with being creative in the arts. I like that. That's great.
Yeah,
it's a good balance.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Thank you.
Well, Peter, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, and we look forward to everything you have. I can't wait to see you go up in space because it's like you said, it's not a matter of if, it's when. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Susan.
All right. Be sure to join us where we connect, collaborate, and accelerate. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and subscribe. Until next time, keep looking up.
Don't miss an episode. Subscribe on your favorite streaming platform. Watch us on YouTube and follow us on social media. Stars Launch Pod, propelling us forward, one launch at a time.